Good morning. Today we are going to start our new lecture. This lecture is dedicated to CFC language, which we use in programming PLC. And we will start our lesson about first information about CFC language. This is not a language inserted to the standard, but this is the main and often using language in codices, which we will use for our course. So CFC means continuous function chart. Its implementation language is a graphical programming language which extends the standard languages of standard. So you can graphically program a system by means of PO and CFC. You insert elements and position them freely. You insert connections and wire the elements to a network so that a well-structured function block diagram is created. You can also insert feedback. You can read function block diagrams like a circuit diagram or a block diagram. The execution order of a function block diagram is based on data flow. Moreover, a PO can process multiple data flows. Then the data flows do not have any common data. In the editor, multiple networks do not have any connections to each other. The CFC page-oriented implementation language is also a graphical programming language which extends the standard languages of standard. In this language, you can graphically program large, complex function block diagrams. The same elements and commands are available as for continuous function chart. In addition, you can arrange the code on as many pages as you like. This allows you to create extensive function block diagrams that are still easy to print. So this is the main information about CFC language. So, unlike FBD, the continuous function diagram editor does not use chains, but allows you to freely place components and connections, which allows you to create feedbacks as shown in this example. This is the realization of some command for PLC in CFC language. There is no grid in CFC data, so elements can be placed anywhere. This is the main feature of this language. Elements of the CFC language include blocks, inputs, outputs, returns, custom transitions, place marks, and commands. The inputs and outputs of these elements can be connected by dragging the connection lines with the mouse. This line will be redrawn automatically when you move elements. If the connection line can't be redrawn, it turns red, and as soon as you move the elements so that you can connect the input and output line without intersecting with other elements, the line becomes normal. The main advantage of the CFC data over FBD is that you can directly add feedback lines to the diagrams. So this is the main features of CFC language. So we will talk about CFC editor. So CFC editor is the implementation of any programs in codices. It's a data which allows us to program our PLC. This is the main view of CFC editor, and we will discuss about in detail on the next page. So this is the main toolbar of CFC data, and the first element is insert input. It's a comment. So next, insert output. Next, insert element. The combination of insert inputs and outputs and elements gives us opportunity to create any command for our PLC and CFC editor. So this is the inserting and transition to a label. Insert a label, inserting a return, inserting comments, and inverting inputs and outputs, set reset command, add an input and eno output to the selected block. The command collects several selected PO into a single block, which is called a macro. This is the main elements of CFC data toolbar. So entering the variables. After editing all input and output elements, we need to connect this input and output element to some variables. This command shows us how can we connect any variable for this entering input and output elements. We just need press F2 button and input enter assistant will allows us to connect any variable from this list, as we see. Entering the operators, it can be done only in blocks, element blocks. Element block will come with AND operator, and to change to other operator we need to call entering assistant, and we need to choose any FBD operator from this list, as we see on the slide. Data flow, automatic numbering of diagram elements in order from left to right and from top to bottom. This order is called topological. The order in which the schema is executed is determined by the data flow, not by the item positions. Therefore, by executing the command according to the data flow, we arrange the execution of operations in topological order. So this is the um, main method. How can we create topological order? Diagram before executing the according to data flow command. So as we see, this is the diagram before executing the command. After that, after executing this command, this diagram will be as we see. All commands in the program will be implemented by execution there according to the data flow. So part of the program in the CFC language. This is the example. How can we create any program in this language, as we see from example, by inserting any input output and elements blocks, we can create any program in CFC language. So it was the main idea about CFC language. I hope that it was hopeful, and in more detail we will talk about, as always, on our tutorial lessons. So thank you, goodbye.